Greetings, dear listeners. My name is Serikbayev Syrym, and today our broadcast is dedicated to procedural law. Procedural law, adjective law, in some jurisdictions referred to as remedial law or rules of court, compromises the rules by which a court hears and determines what happens in civil, lawsuit, criminal, or administrative proceedings. The rules are designed to ensure a fair and consistent application of due process in US or fundamental justice in other common law countries to all cases that come before a court. Substantive law, which refers to the actual claim and defense whose validity is tested through the procedures of procedural law, is different from procedural law. In the context of procedural law, procedural rights may also refer not exclusively to rights to information, access to justice, and right to counsel, rights to public participation, right to confront accusers, as well as basic presumption of innocence, meaning the prosecution regularly must meet the burden of proof, though different jurisdictions have various exceptions, with those rights encompassing general civil and political rights. In environmental law, these procedural rights have been reflected within the UNC Convention of Access to Information, Public Participation in Decision-Making, and Access to Justice in Environmental Matters, known as Aarhus Convention. Legal procedure. Also, different legal processes aim to resolve many kinds of legal disputes. The legal procedures share some common features. All legal procedure, for example, is concerned with due process. Absent very special conditions, a court cannot impose a penalty, civil or criminal, against an individual who has not received notice of a lawsuit being brought against them, or who has not received a fair opportunity to present evidence for themselves. The standardization for the means by which cases are brought, parties are informed, evidence is presented, and facts are determined is intended to maximize the fairness of any proceeding. Nevertheless, strict procedural rules have certain drawbacks. For example, they impose specific time limitations upon the parties that may either hasten or more frequently slow down the pace of proceedings. Furthermore, a party who is unfamiliar with procedural rules may run afoul of guidelines that have nothing to do with the merits of the case, and yet the failure to follow these guidelines may severely damage the party's chances. Procedural systems are constantly torn between arguments that judges should have greater discretion in order to avoid the rigidity of the rules, and arguments that judges should have less discretion in order to avoid an outcome based more on personal preferences of the judge than on the law or the facts. Legal procedure in a larger sense is also designed to effect the best distribution of judicial resources. For example, in most courts of general jurisdiction in the United States, criminal cases are given priority over civil cases because criminal defendants stand to lose their freedom and should therefore be accorded the first opportunity to have their case heard. And now our broadcast is over. Please subscribe to this channel. That was your host, Serikbayev Syrym. Goodbye.